Okay, I'll start, even though I don't have the phone. It's coming, but we're on all other carriers over here. We learn, sponsored by A.B. Spry, for the protection of the troops, and Issa Zeb ben Yuta by Shimon Klein, Lila Nishmas Asher Angel ben Yehuda, Gittel by Shimon Pinchas by Irving Fishbaum for his Zchus, Issa ben Razel, Stephen Holtzman, Lila Nishmas, Miriam Elabas, Yisrael Elazar HaKayin. I regret to inform the Eilam that my uncle passed away today, and my uncle at 99 is Reb Gavriel ben Rav Elia Mordechai HaKayin Meza. His neshama should have an aliyah. Thank you so much. For anybody that's listening here that might be Negeya, the Levaya will be in a graveside we'll be meeting in the Base Moses office at 1 p.m. That's, I think, 1500 Wellwood Avenue, tomorrow at 1 p.m. We welcome in Irving and Menachem Umansky, Marshall Castle, Itz Fuchs, Dr. Guy, Mark Frankel, and Baruch Ian, who decided to show up. And Stephen Holtzman, Shalom Fogel, Shimon Klein, Michal, Rabbi Kranz, Elia Yaffe, Nachman Chapler, A.B. Spry, Naftali Ilya Shutman, Abe Arbach, Yitzi Muller. What happened to Stephen Holtzman? Oh, there he is. Okay. Okay, now we can put on the phone. Here in the shul, we are blessed with Reb Blumenfeld and Reb Berish Gesseman, who is with us this week, which is a great delight for all of us. We have Gedalia Engel and Reb Kramer and Rich Lenner and Saba, and we have Reb Avram. It's a pleasure to have you here. Ramish, a pleasure. And Ruvain Shannet. And like, again, the elusive minion. It's really something. They're always short one from a minion. It's really interesting. You got to get Avram Schenkman to stay back.
Isn't that the rule of the shul? You can have 30 attendees, but you'll only have 10 any given morning if you're lucky?
Well, it is a rule of your shul. You should tell them that you're not a scarecrow.
Go ahead, put your picture up on the wall. Try to attract.
Okay, right. Put my picture on the wall. Tell them I'm coming to say a shir. Okay.
You're more than welcome.
We are holding on Daf Nun Daled Amud Aleph, and we're holding by Ema, 3 lines from the top of Daf Nun Daled Amud Aleph. And the Gemara now wonders, we said that it's Shar v'lo Adam, Chamor v'lo Kelim. That's how we set up the drasha by Bar, that it's Shar and not a human, at least not for death, and Chamor v'lo Kelim, not utensils. And Rabbi Yehuda says, Oi comes l'Rabbi, says HaKelim. So the Gemara says, but why don't we say, Ema, we should say, V'nafal is a klal, is a generalization. Shar v'chamor, a ox and a donkey is a prat. Oh, we have one of the Rabbi Yishmael, Aimer, Shleish Esrei, Midas, Shatar, Nidrashis, Bem. One of them is klal a prat, a principle followed by a specification. Aim b'klal elamasha b'prat. You're only having the generalization, what's in the specification. Therefore, I would say that the only thing that you're chayiv for in a bar is shar v'chamar in, only an ox and a donkey, mid'achrin aloi, and nothing else. Says the Gemara, no, there's a second generalization. Imre Balabor Yishalem, the owner of the pit, pays Chazav Klal. Oh, it's a second generalization, and on this we have a rule: Klal Prada, Klal generalization, specification generalization. Iata Don Elekena Prat. Then we only include that's what's similar to the specification of Shar and Chamar. Ma Prat Mafurish Balei Chayim, living things. Av Kol Balei Chayim, and any other living things. And of course, Rabbi Yehuda would learn out kalim from O. Says Ima Prat Mafurish Davish Nivlosa Metama B'Magdo B'Masa. I might say that the prat is specific, is expressed that something whose carcass it contaminates whether you touch it or whether you carry it, and that would exclude birds, because birds is only metame begodim abeis abliya. It's only if you swallow something that you're going to become tummy, but not upon contact with the skin or carrying the skin of the carcass of a bird. The fact of the matter is a bar is chayiv on a knife. Says Gemara, then the Torah should only say one prat. It should have said either shar or chamar. The extra one includes something. So the Gemara says, what do you mean? Neither of them are extra. Hey, nichtav, ikasim shar, if it would say an axe would only include similar species that are fit for the altar. Havamina karv legabi mizbeach in, only if it's fit for the altar. Sheina karv legabi mizbeach loy, but if it's not fit for the altar, not. Because Rachmana Chamar, Chamar has also something unique. That its firstborn you have to either redeem or break its neck. Says Havamina Kaddish B'Bechayra in, if it's sanctified the firstborn, yes, Shein Kaddish B'Bechayra loy. Ela Makra, the pasuk says, V'ameis yi alai. When it talks about bar, it says V'ameis yi alai, therefore including anything that has misa, kol davar misa, which would include, of course, ifis as well. Says the Gemara, well, bein l'rabbanan dekamamayit lu kalim, both according to Rabbanan that learn how to exclude utensils, bein l'Rabbi Yehuda dekamayir lu kalim, that include kalim, but why would we think that kalim would be included? Kalim don't have misa. So according to Rabbanan, why do you need chamor to exclude kalim? They don't have misa. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, you learn oy to include kalim, but they don't have misa. Kalim ain't misa. No. Says well, yes. Their breakage is death. It's the death of that keli. Keli smashes on the floor. That's the death of the utensil. Shmirasan zui misasan. Their breakage is their death. Says the Gemara, but I don't understand. Remember we said there's a machlokes Rav and Shmuel, why you're chayav for a bar. Is it for hevel, falir, or is it for chavata, for the bank? According to Rav, who says you're only chayav for the hevel, because the ground is karka olam, it's the property of the Rishus Harabim, why would you be chayav for kalim, according to Rav Yehuda, or why, according to Rabbanan, would you need to be mamayit kalim? Kalim don't break from failure. Ularav damar bar shechayvel of Torah lahavlei v'lei lechavatei. Bein l'Rabbanan, bein l'Rabbi Yehuda, both according to Rabbanan and according to Rabbi Yehuda, kalim b'nei havlan, are utensils fit to be broken by failure? So at this point, the Gemara probably could have answered, according to the Mandiyama, that you're chayav for bar b'rishus hayachid. It would be nageya to tell you that you're potter from kalim in a bar b'rishus hayachid, because then even Rav holds that you're chayav for chavata. But the Gemara says a different answer. It's talking about new utensils that weren't hardened yet in the furnace, that weren't hardened yet in the kiln. By the way, is kiln the L silent or not? It's not, right? It's a kiln. Kiln, right? So,
Kill them all.
By the way, if anybody is experiencing static, just put down your volume a little bit. Imre, Becharati is talking about new utensils, demifkei mahavla, they break from foul air. So the Gemara says, wait a second. You're learning this out from Hameis Yilai? We used Hameis Yilai already. We used it so many times. Says the Gemara, Hi Hameis Yilai. You want to say that from Meis Yilai we learn out that it's any Balichayim, even Oifis, that are fit to die. But we used Meis Yilai to tell you that you're potter on a sharp Psulei Mukdashim. Because a sharp Psulei Mukdashim, if it's a shar of Kachim that was disqualified, we said that when it dies, it has no value because you can't redeem it in order to feed it to the dogs or sell it to a guy. So it's only, Gemara says, you need it for Rav. Dama Rav sharp Psulei Mukdashim shenafel labar potter shenema Meis Yilai. The corpse is his. B'misha Meis Yilai. That means that the owner of the bar keeps the corpse. Yatzazeh, that a sharp Psulei Mukdashim doesn't have any value because it's worthless. Because once it dies, you can't redeem it to sell it to for dog food or to goyim. Sheina Meis Yilai, it has no value. Says, well, you're right. You know how I know that you're chayiv if oifas fall into the bar or any other bali chayim? Elama kra kesef yoshiv lebalav, money you return to its owners. L'rabbis kol de islay bailam, anything that has an owner. So the Gemara says, well, if it's anything that has an owner, then it should include even humans and even slaves. Afilu kelim v'odim nami, then it should include utensils and slaves also. Says, well, you're right. That's why we need the miyat of shar and chamar. Amakra shar v'loy adam and chamar v'loy kelim. Says the Gemara, ul Rabbi Yehuda to kamar b'lu kelim. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that we learn out from l'rabbi's kelim. So I know why it says shar, because that shar is coming to tell you shar v'loy adam. But why does it say chamar? If we learn it out anything that has bailim from Kesef Yashav LeBailav, so why does it have to say Chamar? According to Rabbanan, it says Shar to exclude Adam, and it says Chamar to exclude Kalim. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, that says that we include Kalim, so then why does it say Chamar? Bishlam is Shar Memayit Pei Adam. That excludes that you're not chayiv if an Adam dies. Ela Chamar Mai Memayit Pei. What do we do with Chamar? Says this is one of the famous mysteries of Shas. It's interesting. Everything stims in Shas, but there's certain well-known mysteries. Alama Rava Chamor Debar Rabbi Yehuda. The word Chamor by Niske Bar, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the Sed Aveda L'Divrei Akol, in the pasuk of Aveda, it says that Chamor V'Shar V'Seh V'Salma. In the pasuk, it says Kol Avedis Achicha, and even though it says Kol Avedis Achicha, that you should return anything lost by your brother, it goes on to say Shar, and it says Seh, and it says Salma. Why does it have to say all of those? Now the Gemara explains why it says Shar, and the Gemara explains why it says Salma, but it never explains why it says Seyai, a sheep, by Aveda. The sad Aveda L'Divrei Akol Kasha. We don't know why these words are necessary. You know, it's amazing that in the drasha of the Torah, such Gemaras are few and far. Wow, thank you very much. Such Gemaras, you're Armenian. Thank you so much. Such Gemaras are few and far in between, where the Gemara is stumped by a word. Now, it says in the Mishnah, Nafal l'saycha shar cheresh shaita v'katan, if there falls inside the bar a shar cheresh shaita v'katan, which we translate as an axe that's a deaf-mute, an imbecile, or a minor, chayim. So the Gemara says, My shar cheresh shaita v'katan. Does it mean the shor that belongs to cheresh shaita v'katan? Elam a shor shel cheresh shor shel shaita shor shel katan. But if it's a shor of a healthy person, you're potter. Ha shor shel pikach potter? That can't be. Why are you only chayav for a shor of a deaf mute? Amar Reb Yochanan shor shu cheresh shor shu shaita shor shu katan. It means normally a regular shor you're not chayav for, but a shor that's a deaf mute, an imbecile or a minor, you're chayiv. Says the Gemara, why? Why? Ha shor should be potter? Why should you be potter for a shor that's intelligent? So Rabbi Yomi tries an interesting svara. He says it's a chiddush that you're chayiv even for a shor shel cheresh, a shor that's a cheresh shaita and a katan. Because I might think that it was the fact that he's a deaf mute or an imbecile or a minor that caused him to fall, and maybe therefore marshal is potter. It builds up to a climax. That a regular shor is chayiv. I will show cheresh to be cotton, but if it's a shor of a deaf mute, an imbecile or a minor, I might think that it fell in because it's a deaf mute, or katnusa garmalai, or because it's a teeny bopper. And therefore I might think the lifter marshal is potter, kamash malon. Says, but you're wrong. Amalei Rav Achla Ravina Vatani, we learned in the Brayso, Nafal is Seicher Bar Das Potter. If a intelligent one falls in, you're potter. My love shor Bar Das, doesn't that mean that even if it's an intelligent shor, you're potter? Amalei, no, loy adam. It means if a human falls in, you're potter, because it says shor v'loy adam. Elamiata says, Adam ben dasu the potter. You're only potter if it's a Adam that's intelligent. Halav ben dasu, but if it's a deaf mute or an imbecile, chayiv, that's not true. You're never chayiv for a human because it says shar v'lei Adam. Shar v'lei Adam ksiv. Elamai ben das, it means min ben das, a species that's a ben das, namely Adam. Gemara says it's not true. The din is that for an intelligent shor, marshal is not chayiv, because an intelligent shor should have walked around the bar. Amalei vatanya nafal is soichei shor ben das potter. You see, you have to dot the i's and cross the t's. If it falls inside the bar, a shor that's intelligent, marshal is potter, and therefore ela amarava only sharvu cheresh sharvu shaita sharvu cotton. Only if it's a deaf mute, an imbecile, or a minor. Dafka. Aval sharvu bikech, but if it's a shor that's intelligent, potter. My time, or why? The bayilei name hazel, because it should have looked where it's going and go around it. And Tami Nami Hachi, we taka learned that way. Baruch atadi nay, leheinu melech haolam, shakol niyeh b'dvaro. Tani Nabi Hachi, Nafal is Seicha Cheresh Shar Cheresh Shaita v'Katan. If there falls into the bar a axe that's a deaf mute, an imbecile, a minor, v'suma or blind, or mahalach b'layla, or if it's an intelligent one but it's in the night that it can't see, chayiv. But if it's intelligent and going in the day, and a chanami marshal is potter. Finally, we throw a bone to marshal. Then it'll be potter because the shor should have looked where he's going.
Can I ask something on this?
Yes.
Can we go to the next one?
Yes.
But what about the cases that we had where someone covered the bar, and it the camel made it weaker, and then so even a sharp cat would fall in something like that. And
right, then, so that would be different. Then that would be different.
That would chayiv.
That would be chayiv. Yes. You can't say you boy liyunei amazel. Now, echad shar ve'echad kol behema, any shar or any other animal, and we're going to see also any other beast or bird. L'nefila sabar. Marshal is chayiv, it falls into his pit. We'll say in the nighttime. Ulafrosh's Har Sinai, the din is any human or creature had to be distant from Har Sinai. They can't come near the mountain when the Shechina came upon the mountain. Ula tashlume kefil, that if you steal, you have to pay double. Ula shavas aveda, that you have to return it. Leprika, that if it has a heavy load upon it, then you have to help your friend unload it. Lechasima, that you're not allowed to muzzle it while it's working. Lekloyim, now there's two types of kloyim. One is kloyim of charisha, that you're not allowed to plow with two different species of animals, and you're not allowed to mate two different species. Ula Shabbos, and also for the din of Shabbos, that you have to have any creature that you own rest on Shabbos. Now, even though it says in the Mishnah, shar and a behema, which is a domestic animal, says the Mishnah, v'chein v'chaya v'oif k'yoytze b'hem. It's true also for a beast, like a deer, etc., or a bird. So then, imkein lavanema shara chamar. Why does it say shara chamar? Ela shediber akasav b'haiva, because usually those are the ones that are outside a shar and a chamar. So now we're going to go through all of these, how we know it's all animals and chayos and oifos.
Are we going to say Pekach Patur and all these too?
No, of course not. That's a different thing that's unique by bar. Pekach is not potter from being muzzled. The Pekach is not potter from going near Har Sinai. Pekach is not potter from being worked on Shabbos.
No, we're talking about boards. The Nefilas Habor.
No, Nefilas Habor is the first case. It's not talking. That's a prat in the din of bar. It has nothing to do with our Mishnah. Our Mishnah is just saying that these mitzvahs include all creatures. You're talking about a special halacha in bar. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, Nefilas Habar, how do we know that the din of Nefilas Habar, and that's why I explained it, it's talking about in the night. In the night, it's by intelligent creatures too. So, Nefilas Habar, when it comes to falling in a pit, how do we know that it's all creatures? Because it says, Kesef Yoshev Lebalov, you return the money to its owner. Kol Disley Balam, anything that has an owner. Kidamna, like we explained. Bafrosh's Har Sinai, that it has to be separated from Har Sinai. We know it says, Im Behema, Im Ish, should not come near the mountain. How do we know it refers to beasts and birds too? Im behema im ish lo yichya. It says whether an animal or a man that comes close to the mountain won't live. V'chaya bichlal behema havya. Chaya is included in a behema, and im l'rabbi says oifus comes to include birds. L'sashul mekefel. How do we know that you pay double on all of these creatures? Kedamrinan al kol dvar pesha, for any matter of trespass that you steal, klal. And we darshan, actually the Gemara will say elsewhere that kol is more than a klal, it's a ribui. Al kol dvar pesha klal, kol dvar pshia, anything that's trespass, on anything. You pay kefil. La shavas aveda, that you have to return a lost article. L'chol aveda zachicha, all that which your brother loses. Leprika, to help to unload it, it's any of these creatures. Well, that we learn out of Gzeirah Shava, that it says by Prika Chamar, and it says by Shabbos, by the din of Shvisas Behemtai on Shabbos Chamar. Yolef Chamar Chamar Mishabbos. L'chasima, that you're not allowed to muzzle it. Yolef Shar Shar Mishabbos. We'll see in a minute how we know this by Shabbos. L'kloyim, now remember I told you there's two types of hybrid. So the Gemara says, Ikloyim, the Charisha, that you're not allowed to plow with two different species. Yolav Shar Shar Shabbos. We learn out Shar Shar from Shabbos. Ikoim la'avoda, you're not allowed to mate two different species. Yolaf behemtecha behemtecha m'Shabbos. So now the Gemara says, you keep on learning everything out by Shabbos. How do we know that the mitzvah shvisas behemte, that your animal is supposed to rest on Shabbos? How do we know that it's by all creatures? V'gabei Shabbos minolan. Tanya Rabbi Yosi, I'm Mishim Rabbi Shmuel. B'divas Rishaynis Nemar, in the first tablets it says, Avdecha v'amoscha uvehemtecha. Or b'divas Achraynis, in the later tablets it says, V'sharcha v'chamorcha v'chol behemtecha. Now, once it says shar and chamor, why does it have to say anything else? Once it says v'chol behemtecha, why does it have to say shar v'chamor? V'aloi shar v'chamor b'chlal kol behema hayu. V'lama yatsu. Why does it say sharcha v'chamorcha v'chol behemtecha? Loi malach ma shar v'chamora omer kan. Just like shar and chamor, that it says over here by Shabbos, chaya v'oif k'yotz behem, it includes beasts and birds, because it says kol behemtecha, which is marba, including behemoths, chay b'klal behema, and kol comes to include oifus. Af kol chay v'oif mashor v'chamor homer kan chay v'oif k'yotz behem. Af kol chay v'oif, wherever it says chay v'oif k'yotz behem. So the Gemara says, now, even though the Gemara says a lashon af kol chayav oif ki yotzbem, what it means is the reason why it says sharcha b'chamorcha by Shabbos, even though it already says kol behemtecha, is to tell you that just like over here where it says shar and chamor, it means all creatures. So also anywhere else where it says shar chamor, like prika and chasima, it means all animals. So the Gemara says, but why don't we make a klal product klal over here? It says the Gemara, Ema behema de dibras rishonis klal. The behemtecha in the first dibras is a principle. Shorcha v'chamorcha de dibras achronis is a prat, and that would be klal of prat. It would be a generalization specification. Ein b'chlal el mashi b'prat, and then I would only know shor v'chamor in. I would only know an ox and a donkey. Midi achrina light, nothing else. Says Gemara, Imrei v'chol behemtecha de dibras achronis chazer v'klal. Oh, that's a generalization, specification, generalization. Klal of prat, klal iata don elakain prat. It's similar to shor and chamor. Ma'af prat mafurish balei chaim, creatures. Af kol balei chaim, says Gemara, but maybe it's only ve'ema ma prat mafurish davish nivlosa metame b'magam ma'asa, because we said that shor and chamor are animals. That nevela is metame b'magam ma'asa. Af kol davish nivlosa metame b'magam ma'asa, but not birds. Avaloif is like. Imrei imke nichtav rachmana chad prata. It wouldn't need to say shor and chamor. Let it just say one. So the Gemara says no. Hey nichtav rachman. Ikas rachman shor. I would say only an animal that's right lemizbeach. Havamina karvla gabim mizbeach in. Sheina karvla gabim mizbeach loy. Only something that's fit to go on the mizbeach. Kas rachman chamor. And if it would say chamor, because rachman chamor havamina kaddish b'bechayra in, only if it's kaddish in firstborn, like a chamar, they have to redeem with a sheep or break its neck. Shein kaddish b'chayra loy, kas rachman shar. And therefore that you need shar and chamar. How do you know to include oif? Ela v'chol behemtecha is a ribuya. Remember I told you, we learn out from kol to be marb. We call eichad the rachmana, the kas rachmana kol ribuyahu. Wherever it says kol, it's all inclusive. V'gabi ma'isa, by ma'isa sheni, d'chsiv kol, v'kadashinim lei b'klal prat. We don't darshan it all inclusive, but we darshan the klal prat. The tani v'nasata kesef b'chol asher tav v'nafshecha. You should use the money of ma'isa sheni for all what your soul desires. Klal. Babaka b'tzayim b'yayim n'shecha with cattle, sheep, wine, and strong beverage prat. And whatever your soul desires, chaz of a klal. We don't say it's all inclusive. Rather, we say it's a klal product klal. Klal product klal. You have to don elikein prat. Now, what are the pratim? The pratim are bakar, tzayin, yayin, and shecher. Ma prat mefurish pri mepri. It's a fruit that comes from a fruit, because wine comes from a grape, and a sheep comes from its mother. Vigidule karka, and it grows from the ground, because cattle is considered growing from the ground because it eats from the food of the ground. Af kol priu vigidule karka, to exclude mushroom, truffles, water, salt that you can't buy with money on Ma'aser Sheni. You see, we don't darshan kol. Says Gemara, there's a difference between kol and bichal. Imre, bichal is not all inclusive. That's klala. That's only a generalization. Kol, over here it says, kol be'emtecha, that's ribuya. Iba is saying kol nami klalo. Kol is also a klal. So when it says be'emtecha in the dibris rishonos, and it says sharcha v'chamcha marcha, and then kol be'emtecha, that's a klal product klal. However, miu high kol dahacha ribuya. Why? Because it should have been consistent with the first tablets that doesn't say kol. And the cost of v'chol behemtecha, so that's extra shmamina ribuya. Oh, so says Gemara, but if we learn out from kol behemtecha, already behema is a behema, and chaya b'chlal behema, and kol is l'rabas oifus, so then why does it say sharcha v'chamarcha and behemtecha and the dibris rishonos? Hash the damit kol ribuyu, behemtecha the dibris rishonos, the behemtecha in the first tablets, v'shar v'chamar the dibris achronis lamali. So the Gemara says simple. Imrei shar is lagmurei shar lachasima, to teach us that by muzzling also it includes even all animals, beasts, and birds. Chamar lagmurei chamar leprika, for the mitzvah of unloading an animal that has a heavy burden. So we learn out that it's all creatures from chamar, and behemtecha lagmurei behemtecha leklayim, for the din of klayim that it applies to all animals. Says the Gemara, ihachi, if that's the case, that we learn out klayim from Shabbos, then afilu odam litzer, that you shouldn't be able to hook up a man and an animal to pull a wagon, because we learn out the isser of klayim of charisha from Shabbos. Alama tanan odam muter im kulan la'achroish v'limshaych. A man can be hooked up to a plow together with an ox, and there's no isser of klayim. But if we're learning out from Shabbos, well, a man also has to rest on Shabbos. Amra Papa Papanoi Yodei Taimad Milsa. Papanoi knows the reason to this question. Omanu Rav Acha Bar Yaakov. Who's Papanoi? Rav Acha Bar Yaakov. Omakra, the pasuk says, Leman Yanuach Avdecha V'Amoscha Kamoicha. Now that Avdecha V'Amoscha is extra, because it says in the beginning of the pasuk that Yom Hashvi Lo Yisasecha Malata Ato Vincho V'Techa Avdecha V'Amoscha. So it already says Avdecha V'Amoscha shouldn't do work, and then it says Leman Yanuach, and it says that your Avdecha V'Amoscha should rest like you. So that's totally superfluous. It's coming to tell you that humans are only juxtaposed for resting. They're not juxtaposed to the subject of kloyim, that they're not allowed to be plowed, connected to a plow together with an ox. That is allowed. Well, this was a big daf, and now we're going to learn the Mishnah Yomis, Rabbi Isai.